Hello, students. I am Professor Noah Arceneaux. I am making this video for spring 2024. This is the Get to Know Arceneaux video, or Get to Know Your Professor video. There will be a second video that's about the specific class that you're taking, okay? Unless you're taking a graduate class, in which case you're smart enough to read the syllabus. So if you're in one of my undergraduate classes, there will be another video just about the class. This is just about me. And the reason I'm making this video is so that when I speak to you, give a lecture, give you feedback, etc., you maybe can have some sense of where my head is at, and maybe you can put my comments into context and you can understand where I'm coming from. First thing I want to say is my last name, Arceneaux. Spell it correctly. A-R-C-E-N. Here's where it gets tricky. E-A-U-X. A-R-C-E-N-E-A-U-X. 9 letters, get them all correct. It is originally a French name. My family is Cajun French. I like to stress that. I am a Cajun French extraction from Southern Louisiana. And if you do email me, and want to ask for forgiveness, exception, whatever, spell my name correctly. If there's something you prefer to be called other than the name in your roster, please let me know, and I'll do my best to spell your name correctly. Unfortunately, there are too many students. I have usually hundreds of students each semester, so there's no way I can get to know all of you the way you get to know me through video, but I'll do my best. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to share my screen and go over some stuff. When I woke up this morning, there were two things. I kind of a fork in the road. Two things I could have done. One was be productive and make these videos, which is what I'm doing. But I'll mention the other thing that I could have been doing. Okay, Noah Arceneaux, already stressed that. My first college degree was an undergraduate degree from University of Georgia. Went there in the late 1980s. I am not originally from Georgia, despite the fact that I have a slight Southern accent. So they tell me. Tell you what, I don't hear it at all. But my father was career military, so I am an Air Force brat, displaced Cajun. Got that? Okay. Then after college, bounced around for a little while. I was a page for CBS Television. This was in New York. And then I was a desk assistant for ABC News. This was also in New York. I would go into the ABC News studio at midnight and then take the subway all the way home, 45 minutes on the subway to my home in Brooklyn when I got off at 9 a.m. Then I started working on the internet when the internet was brand new, 1996. This was still in New York. First, I worked for CBS News on the web. And even in 1996, we knew that was a stupid name. Then I worked for CBS.com. Then at some point in there, I moved to Los Angeles. I'm not exactly sure when it was, but I was building websites for entertainment TV shows, including Everybody Loves Raymond, King of Queens, Touched by an Angel. Those were some of the shows that I worked on. Oh, America's Funniest Home Video. Remember that. Then my last big job in LA was working on the website for American Idol. And then I decided, I had gotten my master's degree in New York. Then I decided to get a PhD, and I went back to Athens, Georgia, if you're tracking. Okay, Athens, New York, LA, back to Athens. I got my PhD in 2007, and I've been a professor here at San Diego State in the School of Journalism and Media Studies since the year 2007. My area of expertise is the history of radio. I study the history of communications technologies with an emphasis on radio, but I'm fascinated by all forms of communications technologies. And here's a photo just for the 5%, 2%, 3% of you who know who this person is. Ruben Studdard, the winner of the second season of American Idol. And that's me before my sideburns went gray. In 2014, I spent about 7 months in India on a Fulbright scholarship. Studying mobile phones in India. This is northern India. I like to call this photo, how many phones are in this photograph? Yeah, I was studying mobile phones in India. This is from 2017. That's Turkey. I think that's the library in Ephesus. That's my lovely wife, Sanan Keshki. She is a Pakistani filmmaker, raised in the United States, but she was born in Karachi. And our son, that's him in 2017, Imran is his name. And my current research project, I studied mobile phones in India long ago, is French language radio in Southern Louisiana, or the history of Cajun radio, as it were. These are some photographs I took last summer from a place called Fred's Lounge. They broadcast live traditional Cajun music every Saturday morning over KVPI. That announcer behind the microphone there, Mike Perrin, I had been in communication with him. He knew I was coming. And when I walked into Fred's Lounge, he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, from San Diego State, Professor Arceneaux." I was so excited that, to hear my voice broadcast over local radio. And I mentioned I'm doing this in December, recent snapshot. Look, I'm such a good dad. I'm taking a selfie while my son is hauling the Christmas tree. Isn't that what a good dad would do? Okay, the thing that I should have been doing today, and what I will do after I edit these videos and after dinner, is organize comics. I just got a tremendous amount of Brazilian Daredevil comic books. I don't speak Portuguese. I don't read Portuguese, but I really like Daredevil, and someone offered me, a really good deal for these I got a whole bunch, like over 30 Brazilian version of Daredevil, which I will put in a box with my Spanish language Daredevils, which I got in Mexico City last spring. And that's what I should be doing. And the reason I needed to organize comics was I got this in the mail today. I knew it was coming. I didn't think it would come today. I thought it would come tomorrow. Over 60, maybe 70 weird comics from the 70s primarily. It's about 30 war comics, including Sergeant Rock, some weird war, GI Combat. Look at this one. We got like a Nazi circus. This one is some comic book company never heard of before, Super Comics. It's the only issue of anything from Super Comics that I have. There we go. Weird War. Oh my God. Look at this. Look at this cover. This is awesome. Weird War. And we got more than 20 different issues, books from something called Atlas Comics. Atlas was a short-lived comic in the early 70s or mid 70s, trying to compete with Marvel. Didn't last very long. There's only something like 20 something different titles that Atlas Comics published. I'm not talking about magazines, comic books strictly. There's only like 20 something that Atlas published, and none of them went beyond issue number 4. Most of them only went to issue number 3, which to me means, oh, look, we got Planet of the Vampire. Look at that. I think whoever did Planet of the Vampire had a thing for like bondage, I think. Which means if there's only 20 something Atlas comics and none of them went beyond issue 4, it's entirely conceivable and possible and realistic that I could collect every single one of those issues. Anyway, that's what I'm doing, trying to organize the Atlas comics, organize the war comics, and now you know who I am and where my brain is at.